We are so pleased to welcome back to Tales from the Tavern, Mr. Steve Poltz.
So, in the songwriting game that I have with my friends, God, now one morning they sent me an email and it said, you got to write a song, you got 24 hours in which to do it, and it has to be called Sewing Machine. You just have to say it somewhere in the song. So I thought, how am I going to write a song called Sewing Machine? And then once again in the morning it came to me at 5 in the morning, and I woke up giggling hysterically because I thought, oh, I have the perfect idea for a song, Sewing Machine. So I went over to my friend A.J. Croce's house, and if you don't know A.J. Croce, you should get his stuff. He's really good, and he plays piano, and this is Jim Croce's son, and he was the one that, you know, in the songbooks you see Jim Croce holding his little son. That's A.J. So I went over to A.J.'s house, and I said, you got to play piano on this, and we'll record it. So he said, okay, so I put him on this iPod right here, and I thought, I'm going to bring you up to Santa Ynez. And I'm going to see if Sewing Machine would work this way. And so I played this song in Austin, and I was so excited because I was thinking I got a kid's song finally for a kid's record that I was working on. So I had my friend John D. Graham bring over his son Willie, and I say to John D., bring Willie so we can hear the song. Well, Willie runs out of the Saxon Pub in Austin crying halfway through the song because the song scared the shit out of him. So I had to chase Willie to the parking lot and go, Willie, it ends happy. So Willie saw that it ended happy, and now every time I go to Austin, he goes, Steve Poltz, will you play Sewing Machine Man for me? So here is, let's see if this works. While he lives in a hole in a tree, he's much, much smaller than me. He lures the children up for spider tea. He's bossy as a bumblebee. While his fingernails have all turned black, his nose is like an old smokestack. Steam leaves his ears, and when the smoke clears, you'll see that you can't go back. Well, he says his name is Jack Beevil. His voice is as screechy as a weasel. He'll sew you up to the wall in a long dark hall. He's got a bunch of kids sewn to an easel. At least 100 kids sewn to an easel. Sewing machine. He sews the kids together, and his teeth are green. You can't scratch an itch, your eye can barely twitch. He's a mean old man with a sewing machine. Well, the parents tell the kids, don't go in the woods. There's a scary, scary man who isn't good. Little Mary didn't listen as hard as she could. Now she's sewn to the wall in a hood. She's got a brother with a hook for an arm from an accident that happened on the farm. His name is Ben. He doesn't have any friends. All the children made fun of his arm. Little Ben scratched his itch with his hook and got an idea while reading a book. He welded scissors to his hook where his hand used to be and said, I'll search for my sister down by the brook. Ben climbed deep into the forest. All the owls started singing in a chorus. Be careful, little boy, when you go around the pass. There's a gargoyle in a hood named Boris. Sewing machine. He sews the kids together, and his teeth are green. You can't scratch an itch, your eye can barely twitch. He's a mean old man with a sewing machine. Ben climbed into a hole in the ground. It was cold and so
far down. It was dark and hard to see, but he screamed for Mary and kept going down, down, down. When he got to the bottom of the cave, he felt like he was in a big grave. There were kids sewn to the walls, down all the holes that he knew he had to save. He cut the children down just like he was a crook, using the scissors at the end of his hook. And as the kids broke free, they were screaming with glee, saying, Ben, you are the man. Jack Beagle was as angry as a snake, and he jumped out of a big black cake. He grabbed Ben by his coat, and with his hands around his throat, his evil body started to shake. Jack Beagle fell to the ground, and his tears fell all around. He said, I'm sorry I kept you here. I was lonely and without cheer, and no one talks to me in this town. Jack Beagle sits alone in his cell, but when they ring the jailhouse bell, little Ben will come to see him, even though they'll never free him. He's making friends, mending clothes from his cell. He makes amends, mending clothes from his cell. Sewing machine sews clothes for the kids, and his teeth are green. You can't scratch an itch, your eye can barely twitch. He's a lonely old man with a sewing machine. He's making new friends with a sewing machine.